And man, first up, Damian Priest comes out for his entrance and he's armed himself with a kendo stick. And man, Damian Priest looks serious and he looks like he means business. And man, this Judgment Day music, this Damian Priest music is fantastic. Like, man, I just totally love the Judgment Day music, Rhea Ripley's music, Finn Balor's music, Damian Priest music. Man, just this music is just epic. And man, you're a star when you look like uh, Damian Priest, 6'4", and all those tattoos. But man, this music just adds a whole nother level of star to Damian Priest. And as we know from Jim Johnson, the former WWE music producer, man, music is so important and it makes a star. And man, I totally love the whole Judgment Day theme, the look of their clothing, their costumes. However, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, they are not friends tonight. They are former friends who are now in a bitter blood feud with each other. Damian Priest with that kendo stick, he looks like he's ready and he looks like he means business. However, not unexpectedly, we cut to another interruption right in the middle of the main event, of all places. Another interruption in the middle of a main event. And yeah, we didn't just have one interruption, we had two interruptions. So we cut to Miss Redmond, the interviewee, and she's out there talking about Penta's entrance. Again, in the middle of Damian Priest's entrance, which is supposed to be the start of the actual match of the main event. A highly anticipated match between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. But instead, oh no, we have to interview Rey Mysterio about Penta. I mean, Penta was very impressive and they show highlights of that match with Penta and Chad Gable. But man, is this really the right time? Again, I've said this before. I've said it on last week's show. Is this really the right time to cut away and show this stuff in the middle of a match, in the middle of the main event of all matches? So she talks to Rey Mysterio and asks him about Penta, and Ray says Penta just went out there and proved to WWE and the whole world why he is here. And yeah, I agree, Rey Mysterio. I agree. Despite the poor timing of this little interruption, I agree, Ray. The interviewee then asks Ray about the New Day. Ray, who are apparently feuding with Big E, and Ray sides with Big E in his feud with New Day. And then Rey Mysterio references Stone Cold Steve Austin and his catchphrase, hell yeah. And then Rey Mysterio repeats his catchphrase in Spanish. And I don't speak Spanish, so I can't repeat it myself right here. But if you do speak Spanish, then put hell yeah in Spanish in the comment section to show that you're enjoying this review of Monday Night Raw, January 13, 2025. Was that some sort of allusion to maybe a possible Stone Cold Steve Austin return? I know a lot of people have been talking about CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin possibly having a match, and I don't know, maybe that was just a test run, and you know, maybe they're trying to send a message to Stone Cold Steve Austin that, hey, you're wanting back Stone Cold for WrestleMania for a match or for a promo, or who knows, man, but I'm sure WWE would like Stone Cold Steve Austin back in some form or another, and I think you would agree with me with that. Anyhow, man, this match we're about to experience between Damian and Finn Balor was just absolutely, man. I'll just go into detail and explain how all this went down. Before the match actually starts, Miss Redmond, I forgot her first name, but Miss Redmond, the interviewee, says to Rey Mysterio, "Oh, I hear we got a street fight coming up," and it's like, yeah, yeah, Miss Redmond, we do have a street fight coming up. Your little interview with Rey Mysterio is poorly timed, so I don't know, Miss Penta. I mean, Miss Brooks. I mean, Miss Redmond. Miss Redmond. Yeah, we know there's a street fight coming up. The interview with Rey Mysterio, which is poorly placed. I mean, you got a message in your ear saying the interview's coming up. Maybe you should tell Nick Khan and Triple H that, hey, maybe the interview should be before the match, or maybe it should be after the match on YouTube. It shouldn't be in the middle of the main event. And I've already explained before why these interruptions during a match are absolutely absolutely abysmal, absolutely catastrophic. And man, we can talk about five things that Vince McMahon would not agree with, five changes Vince McMahon would not agree with today's WWE and Netflix, and that's one of them. And I'll probably make a video on five things Vince McMahon would not agree with how WWE has changed since he left. And I'll let you know when that video comes up, and you can subscribe to the channel if you would like notifications on when that video comes to fruition. Okay, so after 3 minutes, because I timed this on my Netflix timer, I got 9:40 to 13:40. So 3 whole minutes. 3 whole minutes. Oh yeah, and by the way, after she said we got a street fight to go to, they didn't actually go to a street fight. No, they went to a promo for about 20 seconds advertising Tiffany Stratton versus Bailey on SmackDown. So we got two interruptions which totaled for 3 minutes because I was timing this stuff. So 3 whole minutes wasted for basically no reason whatsoever. You put it in the middle of the main event. I mean, I keep repeating that, but man, you put in a interruption in the main event. I mean, what the heck would Vince McMahon say about this? I mean, what the heck would Vince McMahon say? Yeah, it's pretty obvious what he would say. He would say, "You're fired." And I know Triple H is Vince McMahon's son-in-law, but you're fired. You're fired, Triple H. You're fired. Anyway, Finn Balor makes his entrance, and he doesn't actually come out to. Once his music plays, he actually attacks Damian Priest from behind with a kendo stick. And man, guys start brawling, and Finn Balor starts hitting Damian Priest with a chair. It's just banging him and begging him, and just banging his back. And Damian Priest is on his knees like a broken dog. And then these guys start brawling outside the ring, and then Damian Priest throws uh Finn Balor power bombs him through a table outside of the ring. And man, these guys start brawling like wild, and they start brawling out to the crowd near the front entrance of near the arena. And then there's an elevated platform above a table. And yeah, I thought Damian Priest was gonna suplex Finn Balor through that table, but nah, he didn't suplex him through the table. He did a broken arrow through the table, and man, when I saw this, I was like, man, the camera was perfectly positioned, and it looked like Finn Balor's head and neck was in a compromising position, and it looked like I seriously thought that Finn Balor may have broken his neck and seriously got injured. And so crowd chants, "Holy yes, holy yes, holy yes!" And man, this was appropriate because man, this is one of the most epic things I've seen in WWE. A a broken arrow from Damian Priest onto Finn Balor through a table. And man, this was totally epic. And in it, it's one of the most iconic things I've ever seen in WWE. And it's up there with uh, The Undertaker throwing Mankind off the Hell in a Cell. And man, that was totally epic. And in that move, in that moment, I think WWE just transformed Damian Priest from a star into a megastar. I mean, man, that looked like an iconic moment, and man, that was just totally epic. That said, it did look like Finn Balor may have been seriously injured, and I didn't know. I didn't know whether or not to buy this because Damian Priest eventually started backing up to the ring, and the referee was holding Damian Priest back from attacking Finn Balor. So it was about 7 minutes, 7 minutes before the suspension of disbelief, the suspension that Finn Balor may have just had his neck broken, and it was all the work. It was all the work, and it was all perfectly acted work. Damian Priest comes out running to the ring. JD McDonald and the general manager and the paramedics are standing by Finn Balor's side. Damian Priest grabs JD McDonald, throws him into the LED screen. He then grabs the stretcher, pushes the stretcher all the way down to the ring. McAfee says these two will kill each other if they get the chance. And man, after watching that broken arrow from the elevated platform onto those tables, man, he was certainly not exaggerating. And man, at this moment in time, Damian Priest looks like a total badass. I mean, if you were looking to m- paint a WWE superstar like a total badass to take Brock Lesnar's position in Brock Lesnar's absence, man, Damian Priest looked like a total badass at this moment. And WWE did a really good job at this moment in portraying Damian Priest like a badass. And I think WWE may have invented a signature move for Damian Priest, that being the broken arrow through the table. It may not always be from a high platform, but it might be from the turnbuckle onto a table. It might be onto the announce table. But man, Damian Priest, he moves like a veteran around the ring. And those high elevated power moves that Damian Priest delivers, man, he delivers them with such fluidity. He delivers them with such precision, and it just looks so damn good seeing Damian Priest move around that ring and deliver high-powered moves to superstars. So the broken arrow from Damian Priest looks fantastic, and it should be a signature staple from Damian Priest, similar to how the Dudley Boys have a signature staple of Devon, get the table, and then Bubba Ray lifts him up. Devon grabs the opponent by the neck through the table. So 3D, get the table. Devon, get the table. Broken arrow through the table. Damian Priest has a new signature, which may define Damian Priest in a way that the Tombstone defines the Undertaker, in a way that the Sharpshooter defines Bret the Hitman Hart. And in that moment, when Priest hit the broken arrow onto the table, man, that moment is a moment that will live in my memory forever. Like, again, I don't think I'm exaggerating. Similar to Undertaker throwing Mankind off the cell. Man, this is exactly what WWE Raw Episode 2 needed. A memorable moment. So, no, we didn't have a cliffhanger necessarily at the end of this show, but we did have at least something, just something to remember. We had an epic moment. So, yeah, this epic match was kind of a bit like an ending to a pay-per-view because it seemed to close the feud between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And what's next for Damian Priest? Well, I have high hopes because, as I said, this match transformed Damian Priest from a star into a megastar, in my opinion. I mean, Damian Priest had tattoos. He's 6'6". He's tall. He's built. He looks like a badass. But I've never seen a story. I've never seen a match that portrayed Damian Priest like a badass. And this match, this is how you create stars, Triple H. So bravo, Triple H. You create stars in the ring. You create stars in the ring, similar to how Stone Cold Steve Austin was made. Well, he wasn't entirely made, but he was made in that match with Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. The sharpshooter, the blood coming down Stone Cold Steve Austin's face. This is how you make a star with a match, epic moment like this. Anyway, we're back into the match. So Damian Priest throws the stretcher into towards the ring. Finn Balor rolls off the stretcher into the ring. Damian Priest hits Balor with a very hard clothesline. Priest sets up Balor with a chokeslam, but then in comes Carlito from behind, hits Priest with a hard backcracker, and then it's 2-on-1, beating down Carlito and Finn Balor onto Damian Priest. But then in come the War Raiders to make the save, distracting Carlito and JD McDonald. And then, man, then we see some of the most epic, one of the most epic moments I've ever seen in WWE, as if the broken arrow wasn't the most epic moment you've already seen in the WWE, at least in the modern era, at least on Netflix. So we've just started the Netflix era, and we already have a massive epic moment. That broken arrow off the elevated platform, man, that looked like it may have broken Finn Balor's neck, but on a replay, Damian Priest executed that move perfectly, and he positioned his neck and the head of Finn Balor in such a way where, yeah, Finn Balor was protected, but man, that looked dangerous. And as the crowd said, holy S, holy S. But man, that wasn't the only moment. That wasn't the only moment that's epic, because I saw one of the most unique things and epic things I've ever seen in WWE next. So after the War Raiders make the save for Damian Priest, Balor then leaps at Damian and then hits him with a sling blade, which is perfectly executed in typical fashion by Finn Balor. Balor then picks up a steel chair and starts hitting Priest from behind. Bang, bang, several hard shots. Bang, bang, on the back of Damian Priest. He then sets up Priest onto a chair, sits him up on a chair. We see there's blood pouring out of the back left shoulder of Damian Priest. So looks like Damian Priest took some pretty hard shots to the back with that steel on flesh, that chair on Damian Priest's back. Then Finn Balor wraps the chair around Damian Priest's neck. And man, this looks ugly. Mangled steel around the neck of Damian Priest. And then it looks like Finn Balor is going to go for another sling blade. He launches himself at Damian Priest. But Priest, he catches with a chair, a steel chair mangled around his neck. Damian Priest manages to sit up, catch Finn Balor with one hand, and do a sit down chokeslam powerbomb. And man, this looked epic. And how he managed to do that sit down chokeslam powerbomb with a chair wrapped around his neck. Man, that looked dangerous, that looked freaky, but it also looked epic. And it really captured how intense and brutal this street fight was. Because this truly was a street fight. And man, I don't know if Damian Priest is going to be billed as some sort of tough street fighter after this. Because if he did, he earned it. And yeah, as I said, this match did a good job in painting Damian Priest as a superstar. Not just a superstar, a megastar. But man, this match, this is how you create a superstar. This is how you create a megastar. Triple H, and you did it here. So I could say maybe they'll drop the ball on Damian Priest in the future, but man, they created a megastar in this match. Damian Priest looked like a total badass. I mean, I would say he's similar to Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar was a bit more physical with those UFC fighting skills, with those wrestling skills. But Damian Priest, just a mean badass. A mean badass, just a mean brawler. A little bit like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So yeah, Damian Priest, not Brock Lesnar, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he's a badass. He may just be the biggest badass in the WWE after watching this match. And you did a good job, Triple H. And I don't think you're going to drop the ball on Damian Priest. Because right now, Damian Priest is a megastar. He's right up there as one of my top 5 favorite superstars in the WWE, sorry. So, man, this is how you create a megastar. Damian Priest is now a megastar. That epic broken arrow from the elevated platform onto the table, that's an epic moment, and that's how you make a megastar. This match is how you tell a story and create stars. Damian Priest, 6'6", tattoos, good look, impressive presentation. But man, you got to tell a story to make a star. And in this match, Damian Priest became a megastar. That broken arrow may define the career of Damian Priest. And maybe not the whole career, but at least the very beginning. The catalyst that transformed Damian Priest from superstar into megastar. I look forward to seeing Damian Priest in the future. And this feud with Finn Balor, as Michael Cole said, it's over. This feud is over. So we'll see. I'll see you next week on Raw, and I'll probably make a top 5 WWE superstars competing in the WWE today. And man, after this match, you can guess who at least one of those superstars are. Anyway, do you agree with me? Did WWE transform Damian Priest from superstar into megastar with that broken arrow? Did Damian Priest become a megastar in your opinion? Who are your top 5 WWE superstars in the WWE today? So, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.